This continent was called Lamar, but is better known to you as the continent of Mu. It emerged virtually in one piece, to be shattered 2000 years later, by seismic shock, into three principal continents. With the passing of years, vegetation established on these continents, large areas of which were located in equatorial regions. Grass grew, forests established, and gradually, animals migrated across the very narrow isthmus that bound Mu to North America. The yellow race that had better managed to come to terms with the disastrous consequences of the cataclysm were first to construct ships and explore the seas. About 300,000 Earth years ago, they landed on the northwest coast of Mu, where they eventually founded a small colony. This colony barely grew over the course of centuries, as there were difficulties in expatriating, which would take too long to explain and which does not concern us now. About 250,000 Earth years ago, the inhabitants of planet Aremo X3, on which we stopped to take samples during our journey here, embarked on an interplanetary voyage of exploration penetrating your solar system. After having skirted Saturn, Jupiter, Mars and Mercury, they landed on the planet Earth in China, where their spacecraft caused considerable panic among the populace. Their legends refer to fire dragons descending from the sky. The fear and mistrust of the Chinese led them eventually to attack the aliens, who were forced to use violence in order to defend themselves. This they hated, for they were not only technologically advanced but also highly spiritual people who abhorred killing. They moved on, continuing their exploration of the planet. It turned out that the continent of Mu had most appeal for them for two main reasons. First, the continent appeared to be virtually uninhabited, and second, by virtue of its latitude, it was a veritable paradise. They had become particularly cautious since their confrontation with the Chinese and felt it would be wise to establish a base to which they could retreat, should they encounter further hostilities of a serious nature from Earth people. I have not yet explained that their reason for exploring Earth was their intention of resettling several million people from Aremo X3, a planet that was becoming uncomfortably overpopulated. This operation was much too serious to take risks of any kind. Thus, it was decided that their base of retreat would be set up, not on Earth, but on the Moon, which was quite close and considered very safe. 50 years were spent establishing the lunar bases, and it wasn't until they were ready that emigration to Mu began. All went well. The small Chinese colony that had existed in the northwest of Mu had been totally destroyed some decades after their first visit, so in effect, they had the entire continent to themselves.